or you'll probably
Hi
record only.
everyone, I'm Saleha and this is Friday Night Adda. And for a change, I'm actually recording on a Friday night. And joining me virtually, as always, is my very good friend from school. And also later, we've kept in touch. It's Poonam and Kaushik, who
Hello,
I met
everybody.
on Calcutta Unlimited. And both of them from St. Xaviers. So this one is for all the Xaviers people out there. Hi, guys.
Hi, how's everything?
I am good. What about you?
Good. Hi, Kaushik. Nice to
Hi
meet you.
everybody, and good morning, good afternoon, in whichever part of the world you're in. So come as you are. So over to you, Baxaleh.
And I think Kaushik is the only one who lives in Calcutta, with Poonam living in Bombay and
Bombay.
me in Melbourne. So, Kaushik, let's start with you. Tell us about Kolkata. Tell us about what's happening in Kolkata. And Xavier's, because this is all about Xavier's Adda a little bit. And
Yes,
then,
absolutely love this vibe. And to talk about Kolkata, I was out of Kolkata for a long time, and all of us are, in this currently the same age group. And when we grew up, Calcutta had its own charm in the 70s and the 80s, but it had its shortcomings also. Lack of power, transport, metro in a chaotic state, all that was there.
you forgot
Now,
telephone.
after the telephone, yes, 244 all that. So all that was there. Now coming back about 35 years later, I passed my ICSE in 1986. So 35 years later, a lot of the imperfections are gone. Now you have power all the time. The roads are decent. The metro is running across the city. Promise of 3 more lines. All that is there. But the charm has kind of gone. So to quote
Because
Pink
we're
Floyd,
not
the
used to
child is
a
gone and the dream is
normal
gone.
life. Has a charm gone because you're not used to a normal life with power all the time and mobile phone?
No, I
Okay,
don't think
continue.
so. I think
Okay.
the. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. Excuse
No,
me.
no, no, no.
So what has happened is that lot of the crowd which was there in the 70s and the 80s, and a very cosmopolitan crowd, people from all over the country, a lot of international presence, people from Armenia, people from Iraq, Baghdadi Jews, then people from China. A lot of them have now gone. Anglo Indians, who are probably a vibrant part of Calcutta, a lot of people have now gone, so it has not been as cosmopolitan. So I think that is one of the reasons for the charm fading away. Plus lack of livelihoods. I think economic uh, magnificence, or rather I should say economic well-being, is very central to the well-being of any community. So that is also gone. So I think that's about it really. Over to you.
Okay. Uh, Poonam, how does it feel?
Yeah, it kind of
Asansol
feels
to
like,
Xavier's.
And about Xavier's,
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
I think you'd better talk.
No, I was just about to say that I've lived in Calcutta briefly, not for very many years, maybe 8 years. But we left for the same reason that, there weren't too many job opportunities and your career growth was pretty much sort of stunted. So you knew
Hmm.
that if you had to grow, you had to get out of the city, which
Exactly.
is really a pity because the city sort of grows on you, and I still miss it. But having said that, I don't know whether I'd ever go back to live there. It's nice to miss it from a distance, but settling back there. So, Kaushik, I was wondering how it was for you since
Well,
you've
when
been.
I came back in, yeah, it was tough for me. Like we are Calcuttans, born and bred. Our the family presence in Kolkata dates back to about 90 years, and we settled down. My father's studied here and all that. Everything is fine. But I also, as you very rightly said, I had to leave Calcutta because of professional opportunities. Because again, one is opportunities, one is the work culture, which actually kind of stifles you quite a bit. So once you come back, I came back in 2016, and I felt I was coming back to a completely different city, and it took me about a year or so to get adjusted. And once I did get adjusted, I was working. I quit my job because I felt that after having worked outside, after having worked in a place like Bombay, which is comparable internationally, it can be compared with maybe a New York or a Hong Kong. I felt that it's not worth really working. So I started my own company. I'm still working, I'm still struggling. But yeah, I think I believe in the adage of losing to win later. So I'm losing right now in certain ways, but I definitely do believe that sometime it will be better, and that's about it.
So you are a Xavier's born and bred kid, school
Not
to
really,
college.
because not really. I again started studying in Xavier's a little later in class 8 because my dad was an IAS officer and we studied all over the country. So I've studied in Madras, in Lucknow, in Delhi. So all these places have shaped me. So, but yeah, I would like to now introduce myself as a Xaverian. So Xavier's in school, Xavier's in college. Now my daughter is a Xaverian. She's studying in BBA. So I get a fair bit of update from her. I'm quite happy that she's again got into the college because Xavier's today has all of us as Xaverians, and Xavier's pretty much ranks in the top 3 or 4 colleges for commerce, and she's studying her bachelor's management sciences. So plans to be an MBA or a CFA. So I think that way this is one of the best colleges. Exposure is very good, and let's see. Another 3 years later, we'll get a chart of where she wants to go. So that's about it, really.
Has
Poonam,
much changed in Xavier's? I was the
Uh,
second batch of girls to.
I was going to ask you that. From convent, from Loreto all girls school, then you go to a co-ed. How was it?
It was
yeah, that will be interesting to hear.
quite a culture shock in many ways, but it was also a lot of fun. If you know what I mean, I mean, teenage fun. You're not really going to have the same kind of experiences that Loreto offered.
Yes.
But it
Good or
was
bad?
fun.
Yes,
Good
okay.
and bad, let's put it that way.
Because my college days was so boring, so boring. And honestly, like I was telling you, I did not make a single college friend. I must have then, but I'm not in touch with anyone. I'm only in touch with all my school friends. And I feel there's a huge connection there. But yes, so anyone from Xavier sounded so posh and so cool, whereas Brabant was this, really boring, Mashima kind of
Hmm, hmm.
college at that time. I'm sure, I don't know, I'll be killed for this if there are people from Lady Brabant listening to it.
I'm
But,
sure they'll agree.
and you met your husband there.
Yes. So,
You
yeah,
still have good memories of Xavier's,
yeah, despite that, would you believe it?
despite that, yes.
40 plus years back.
Oh my God.
Must have
Does
been in the
it,
early
does
80s,
it?
1980 or
Yes.
81.
No, 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 a little later. Yeah, yeah, kind of. Yes.
Yeah, we kind of are old people, Kaushik, compared to you.
No, I'm
I
also
am
pretty
not.
old, but that way
But not
Your
as
it's
old.
okay.
daughter is in college. Both our children are actually working and have been in the workforce for a while. Hey, no, Poonam, you can say your daughter's studying. So yes, you're not that
Yeah,
old then anymore.
my daughter's gone back to studying after quite a bit
No,
of work ex. So,
no, that's different because that is kind of upgrading yourself in the workforce. So that's fine.
Upskilling, yes. Kaushik, we were chatting the other day about how our kids run our lives. My elder
Absolutely.
daughter runs my life, starting from how I should behave to how I should pronounce things to how her whatever she thinks is correct, and then her sentence starts with "you baby boomers," and then it goes on to
Oh,
what is wrong. What about you?
absolutely.
Yes, similar
Hmm.
problem.
Problem is there. I mean, there are times when the thing which I get, panned most about is my lack of tech savviness.
Oh yes, welcome to
You're,
my
you're
world.
yeah, yeah, welcome to our world.
welcome to the world. Okay,
Welcome to the baby boomer world.
Yes.
baby boomer world. No, actually, I don't think you all are maybe pretty much baby boomers. I'm a Gen Xer because anyone born between
Okay. Yeah,
1965 to
we have got the
81
message.
is a
All
Gen
right,
X.
all right.
Okay, okay, we got the
But
message.
I know we can't call you the bhalo bacha, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so no, but I get panned a lot about my lack of tech savviness. You don't know this, you don't know that. Go this, press this key, press that key. So that is there. And I think I'll just mention one two words basically which are there. One that is called passively aggressive.
Yes.
So,
Tell
so
us
when you talk
about
of so when you talk of passively aggressive, you're describing the kids of today. I'm talking of
Yes.
people born at the turn of the millennium.
Even
So,
people born a little before the millennial, trust me, their point of view is always right.
so the
but
point of view is
earlier
always
weren't we like that at their age too?
Were we? Were we
Maybe
like, I don't know. Did we ever argue with our parents? I don't remember
no.
arguing.
We felt a lot, but we never expressed ourselves.
Yes, yes,
Our lines of communication with our parents were quite different from what today's generation is. I
that's
think
true.
we were so respectful that we decided to just zip up and, if they said something, we just did it. We didn't argue
Yeah.
and we didn't ask them why because we knew it was their way or the highway.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Kaushik, did you say the other day that our generation is the last that will listen to their parents and their children?
absolutely, and I stand by it
Yes.
as now as we speak now. So that's there. Because see, what has happened is that, for example, my entire professional life, I studied chartered accountancy. One was that no other options were given to us.
Mhm.
I was told that MBA পড়ার দরকার নেই কেন my father dealt with a few MBAs in his company and he felt they were substandard, so he said you will not study MBA.
Wow. Okay.
And I wanted to
Call my
basically,
husband.
yeah. Then also there were whatever I said, I wanted to be my first love. In fact, is I'm more of an arts oriented person, so I wanted to study history. তাহলে কি
Oh
তুমি
God.
এখানে প্রফেসর,
Hey. Yep.
তুমি কি তাহলে কোনো কলেজে প্রফেসর হবে? নাও হি মেনশনড আ কলেজ ইন দ্য আউটস্কার্টস অফ ক্যালকাটা,
Midnapur.
বসিরহাট or somewhere, Midnapur, Boshirat somewhere.
Okay.
And now today, if my son said this, I would say, yeah, why not? You can go and teach somewhere abroad. But
Yeah.
that never occurred to him. So I think that way, it's with a tinge of sadness that his vision probably was well-meaning but narrow. So I think that is what I would like to say. And today, I at least would like to think that okay, I was when I was working, I grew up. They grew up away from me, so I did not see many aspects of their growing up. But at the same time, I would like to think that I've allowed them to do pretty much what they wanted, and I've had them counseled professionally on their career aspirations, choices. So that way, I've always thought that okay, let him do something, let him take on this. So that's really, and today, as Poonam said, that we were very respectful. I still am very respectful, and so that way, I think we are the first generation and the last who have listened to our parents and to our children.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the only things my girl listen to is when they are traveling, they should tell me where they are going. When they reach, they need to text me. At the end of a couple of days, they need to text me to tell me that they are alive. And the messages are normally alive. One word with four exclamation marks. And when they're taking the flight back, on the flight or boarding, that is their communication. Otherwise they have a say in everything. I think my younger daughter is a bit more patient with me, but when it comes to money matters and tech and explaining science, we went on a hot air balloon trip recently, like a couple of weeks ago. So my younger
Okay.
daughter wanted to know what the science behind it was, how it lifts up. It was never, everything was like, Mom, where did you stop for coffee? Where did you eat? What did you eat? Tell us this. But when it came to, how do you get off the air? That was, Dad, how do you get off the air? What is the science behind it? That is.
Can you blame them for gender stereotyping?
So there you go. Do your kids do the same?
Yeah, when it comes to tech and when it comes to money matters,
Yeah.
I'm really bad with finance. So, dad, you know, so even if I know the price of something or I know how to go about it, it's always, where's dad? I need to ask him something. And I'm like, hello, hello, one parent here. But I guess it's okay.
Yeah. Kaushik, what
Absolutely
about
okay.
you? Are you the money man and in the family, and kids come to you?
100%, 100%.
Okay. Oh
Because
God.
one thing is that basically my role is that if anything by way of money is demanded, then it's always me who's spoken to. And when there's something which is a large decision, anything on academics, anything on work, anything on buying a gadget, that way I try to be a little strict, because there are times when even my daughters ask me for a phone. I just kept stalling her. Then one fine day, she had her phone in the seat of her jeans, and that phone fell into the bathroom floor. So immediately I had my opening, and I said that, look, you can't take care of your phone, so that proves that you have to wait some more time to get your dream gadget. So that happened, and she was angry like hell, but she knew that she had been caught out of the crease. So that was there. Then couple of times I've done it, but when I'm very sure that my kids have adhered to a process. For example, about 2 years back, my son wanted a bike. So I said that I don't believe you can ride a bike in the first place. He then said, okay. So he got this bullet, took two
Wow.
rounds of it, had a friend to take a photograph, and then he said, "Do you believe me now?" I said, "Yes, I
Okay.
do, but what about your prices?" He said, then after some time, he called me and said that, okay, I've done a comparative. There are three dealers. I've taken quotes from all of them. And there's one guy whose price is a little higher, but I think he's giving you a better machine. I said, fine. Now that I see that you've done your homework, I'm sending you the money. So I think that's where you have to draw the line and make it very clear that, okay, you also have a say. You cannot be discounted totally.
Fair enough.
That's fair. Yeah.
So going back to Xavier's, Poonam, good memories?
Yes, on the whole, very good memories. It was a great 3 years. I mean, it was a learning experience in more ways than one.
How do
One
you
is, of
mean?
course, coming from an all girls school. And then I did my 11th and 12th in Shikshayapan, which was even
Hmm.
more of a convent than a convent can be. And I was in the school hostel, not the college, which was really, really strict. I mean, it was like
Hmm.
being in jail.
Okay.
Literally, we were not
Okay.
allowed to go out or do anything. I mean, you needed permission for everything, and the permission was always refused.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. So that was actually a horrible experience. Uh, not
No, if you
something.
see,
Sorry.
sorry, please continue. I'm just going to come in. So please
Yeah.
do continue.
Uh, so that was not a very pleasant transition from Asansol.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Hmm.
for my parents, they were like, feeling a little bit more comfortable about my being in a school hostel because I lived in a place called Maithon. I don't know if,
Yeah, yeah, very much.
yeah, okay. So I lived in a colony and I didn't even know how to cross the road. I mean, we led such
Hmm.
a sheltered, protected life. And because there are no cars on the road, so when I moved
Hmm.
to a city, everything was pretty frightening.
Hmm.
And I moved from Loreto, Asansol to Loreto House. Admission was pretty smooth. There was no problem with that.
Hmm.
But I was told that there's no place in the hostel and I'd have to stay in the YWCA. My mother
Which is
threw,
not
Okay.
far. Yes.
yeah, but my mother threw a fit. She's like, how can I send my daughter to a working girls' hostel?
She's going to get corrupted.
No, she just, felt that I was not going to be able to handle it. And in a way, I don't think she was wrong. Like I told you, I am still bad at crossing roads. I need to hold someone's hand.
Oh God, Poonam. I cross roads here like I cross roads in India. So I will just cross, and then doesn't matter if the traffic stops. That's their problem.
You're a traffic hazard, I'm telling you. I did that in Singapore.
I did that in Vietnam also.
It was horrible because the guy who almost ran me over was an Indian.
Oh
So
Lord.
Trust
he
him.
pulled up on the side and gave me a earful.
I did that in Austria, but I was crossing the road the other way. I was looking the wrong side and I crossed. But
Does
you
happen.
learn, you learn. But
You learn, yeah.
And
No,
then did
actually,
you
I
live in a
can.
hostel at Xavier's? No, there was no hostel in Xavier's.
No, and so then I had to move to Shikshaithan because no other place had a school hostel where my parents wanted me to go.
Okay.
So I did 2 years in Shikshaithan, which taught me a lot. One thing was it taught me to make my own decisions. I think I grew up overnight over there.
Yep, I think all of us did.
Yeah, because
Hmm.
coming from this absolutely sheltered background to suddenly having to fend for yourself, figure it out, and then you're in this atmosphere which is completely stifling, and you've got to survive. There is no
Hmm.
other
Hmm.
way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I don't know whether I should use the word luckily, I got malaria.
Oh Lord,
And
that's not luck.
no, believe it or not, in those days, it would be a recurring thing. Every month you would get that attack. I don't know,
Wow.
it would get into your
Hmm.
bloodstream. And despite the quinine, I would get an attack every month. And
Oh.
it weakens you so much that they would have to send you home to recover
Okay.
for a
Okay.
few days. So that was my, gateway to freedom. And as my dad always said, you got it on purpose because you wanted to get away. So Xavier's came like a breath of fresh air. And again, it was not the way things are right now, in at least in the Bombay colleges. The fathers there were very strict with attendance. If you were doing an honors program, you needed 90% attendance. So you figured out
Okay.
how to maximize that 10% that you were allowed to get away with.
Yes.
You would let it all add up and figure out whether you can take a day off and do
Hmm.
stuff. So bunking,
That
which
was
to
so
this,
exciting. Yes, I remember
yeah, no,
doing.
it was such a highlight for us. Man, we really lived in innocent times, I must say.
That also says how old we are. When bunking was a highlight. I remember when I was in Brabant, we wanted to see ABBA the movie. I
Mhm.
think it was
Okay.
playing in Metro. I don't remember, but we were 11 or 13 of us in class, and we wanted to go and see. But then you couldn't bunk because the professor was so strict. So the entire class bunked. So 13 of us went to see ABBA the movie, and then all of
Okay.
us got letters home. Can you imagine? The Brabant was like, oh my god, it was so not me. But anyway, doesn't matter. You know, I wish
No,
I
I can
had.
imagine because my grandmother studied in Loreto in the 40s.
Mhm.
And there also, I think schools and colleges like Loreto are now a little bit of an anachronism with all the due respects. Because today, the way it goes, like your mothers come up and say that, oh, your skirt is so short and oh, your plates are so, not oiled that way. I think that kind of culture, I would not like my daughter to study in that way. My daughter's from Lavatnia for girls. So there, it's a girls' school, but you have the boys across the road. So I think those
Yeah.
social skills are very, very important.
But if you're
Uh,
talking 40s and when we were in school, we weren't in school in the 40s. Poonam and I
no,
weren't born
We're
then.
not that
So
old.
just in
We're
case
not that old, Kaushik.
But
but
yes, we had to have skirts 6 inches above the knee. And
yeah,
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 we
that's
had,
all
yeah,
part
yeah,
of the
oh my
culture.
God. But, we didn't know any better. So it was just something that you just did.
And
It
we
was there, right?
accepted
No.
everything.
Yes,
We
we
didn't
act.
question too much. Yeah.
I think it was a metamorphosis for us after we got married. I got
Yeah.
married to a really bad boy, and he's still very bad boy. And I think I just grew up
Congratulations,
overnight.
bad boy.
Yes, and I met him in Calcutta. That was the scary part. And if Ratna's listening, my girls are never happy with you. So yes, but I think it's all changed now. Our children are so much smarter than us, so much more aware, and I
Hmm.
think it's good. It's way better than what we are because the world has changed.
Yeah. See,
I
we were
would
a
kind of
product of
agree
our
in part
time.
that they are
Yes,
smarter than us.
way smarter.
They are smarter in certain ways. We are smarter in certain ways too. So I would not agree fully with your statement, Salah, with all the due respect. So
No, no,
what
no due
happens is,
respect. I mean, I'm saying that and during our times, I think we were what we would call forward people, isn't it? Because we
Yes,
studied in
yes.
English
We were the
schools,
bad
and
girls,
yes,
remember?
and then when you look at kids now, or when I look at my girls now, it's like so many things that they do are so
Hmm.
matter of fact. It's, I mean, there is no overthinking it like we would do. They all, I mean, I'm sure all our kids love us, but their way of showing respect is so different to our way of showing respect. And I think our generation, we are way better parents than our parents' generation. We are more open, we are more accepting.
Exactly. That's
Yes,
what.
and I think I noticed that with all our friends that we are way more open, we are way more accepting. We listen to others' point of views. I know I've grown up with my kids. They've taught me so many things in the last 10 years that I've learned to look at people. And one of the things I've been taught is don't judge people. And I'm slowly and slowly coming to that. Don't judge. People have their
Okay.
own things too. They have their you know own issues. You never know that.
No, you have to understand the context. Why somebody is in a particular way, you have to first understand the context and then judge. So that leads us to a
No.
term called EQ.
Yeah, but
EQ
we
is very
weren't
important.
taught EQ, Kaushik. We
No,
are
it has
so
come up
quick
only in
to
the last
judge. Yes, it's
But
only
you know,
now that
Kaushik,
25 years.
if I
25
may
years, it's
interrupt, I mean,
please.
it's not that you always know the context. I think
Yeah.
what Saliha is saying, and my children tell me the same thing, is that you can't always know the context and it's not important. You have to
yes,
just learn not to be judgmental.
and just accept a
Hmm.
person for what
Yeah.
they are. Yes, and I'm slowly learning to do that. I mean, yes, you just accept people. People have their own issues. They do their own thing, and I think that is what this generation of kids are teaching us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I think most of us accept it. Most of us accept what our kids are teaching us, and I'm looking at this across the world, and we are way more easier parents than our parents were.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
can talk to us, they can discuss things, and of course there are different point of views, but we are more accepting. And guess what, we have 3 minutes left, because when you start
Okay.
chatting, time just
Oh.
flies.
Oh, time has just passed by.
Yeah. Really
This
been a fun, Adda. It's been nice getting to know
Absolutely
you.
great. Great
So, what
fun.
is it? Tell us a little bit about your company. What is it that you're doing?
Okay, I'll just give you a bit of context about first myself. So I'm a finance professional. I'm a CA from India and a management accountant from the UK. So I worked in industry for about 22 years, came back, worked with an education group for a year. My company is basically into skills, training and counseling. So I'm a qualified counselor as well. So
Hmm.
I deal into
counseling
areas
on
like,
what? Sorry, counseling on what?
yeah, sure. A counseling on educational areas. So if a kid has got a phobia of maths, I can help him. If a kid needs memory hacks, I can help him. I also do a lot of careers. So I have my own aptitude test. So I find out what is the person most suited to, give him a report. This is something which we do very uniquely. And also workplace mentoring. So workplace mentoring is when a guy is having some issues at the office, I counsel him to get over those and get at least alternatives, if not a solution. And I also counsel about finance. Not so much about products and try to sell your product, but try to improve your view and the way you look at money. So these are the main areas which I look at.
So, quite a
So
few
that's
things you're
Yes.
clubbed together. I mean, career counseling as well as other financial counseling, workplace.
yeah.
Sounds interesting.
It's it's there because you have to keep your options very broad based. And ultimately when you're broad based, but you focus on a few, that's when you maybe start getting the clients. And now of course with the way I am speaking to both of you in very different countries, so we can actually reach out. This is what the pandemic has taught us, that we can actually have a good IT platform and reach out to just about anybody.
True.
That is what I've learned really.
And now you're tech savvy.
I am tech savvy, yes, that's the benefit of this
You can
session
tell your
also.
children that.
Yes,
I take
absolutely.
every opportunity to tell my girls if I've done something different from what they expected me to do, other than
Mhm.
talking, because they know I can talk. So, yes, all the time. But anyway,
But it's
Well,
been great talking to
making-
both of you. So thank you so much for your time, both of you.
Thank you.
thank you. It was great hanging out. Hey, Poonam, I'll chat to you soon. And
Yes, great. Thank you so much for having us on the show.
okay,
Thank you
pleasure.
so much.
No, thank
Absolutely.
you, Kaushik. It's been a pleasure. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you liked everything we chatted about. Nothing in particular, and then everything there. See you next week. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.